Nigel Farage sparked huge cheers from an audience in Australia as he claimed he could become the next Prime Minister if Boris Johnson fails to deliver Britain's departure from the EU. Nigel Farage prompted cheers and massive applause from an audience as he spoke at a CPAC Australia event. The Brexit Party leader warned Boris Johnson about the consequences of not delivering Britain's departure from the bloc by the end of October this year. Mr. Farage also claimed he would probably win the next general election if Brexit is not delivered on the current scheduled departure date. He said, twice, he voted against the treaty, and won the third time of asking. He voted for the treaty. So, Boris may not be 100% nailed on to full independence for the United Kingdom. But, there is a new political reality. What the Brexit Party has done is to completely reset the political agenda in Britain. The Conservative government now know that if we don't leave on the 31st of October, they as a political party are finished, and the ghastly spectre who is standing in front of you now will probably win the next general election. The remark from the Brexit Party sparked huge cheers and applause from the audience. It comes as Boris Johnson has vowed to deliver Brexit by the end of October this year with or without a deal, despite the EU not budging on his demands for the backstop mechanism to be ejected from the withdrawal agreement. Last week, Irish TOS Leo Varadkar said the invite to Mr. Johnson to join him in Dublin for talks on Brexit and other issues had no preconditions. But, a spokesman for the TOS said on Sunday, the TOS has invited the British Prime Minister to Dublin for talks on Northern Ireland and Brexit. Their offices are in contact to agree a date for these talks in the coming weeks. Such a meeting would give both sides an opportunity to gain a better understanding of their respective positions. As has repeatedly been made clear, the withdrawal agreement and the backstop are not up for negotiation. Any discussions on changes to the political declaration would occur between the UK and the EU. Mr. Johnson has insisted a Brexit deal is only possible if the backstop is scrapped, and is expected to head to Dublin for talks early next month. Speaking on BBC Radio 4's Today programme, Justice Secretary Robert Buckland warned about the impact of the UK leaving the EU with no deal. He was reminded he previously claimed it was the duty of governments to avoid the chaos of a crash-out Brexit. He said, yes, and that's why I think the work that's been done within government to ensure an orderly Brexit is vital. The choice that faces us now is either disorder in terms of Brexit or an orderly, sensible approach, and that's why I'm really pleased the structure of cabinet committees, the way in which government is bearing down upon the issues, shows a sense of urgency and purpose that is absolutely essential if we're to avoid the sort of disorder I've talked about, and I'm increasingly confident we can achieve that. Also appearing on the show on Monday, Shadow Home Secretary Diane Abbott was asked if Labour is planning to move a vote of no confidence against Mr. Johnson's government in the first week of Parliament's return. She said, "It's above my pay grade to say when we'll move the vote of no confidence. But, who has confidence in Boris Johnson apart from the people around him? The more he announces these bogus and funded announcements, I think the less confidence there will be in him and the general public."